I'm Fuzzy D, and this is Fuzzy Road to Health. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own powdered egg whites. Let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is separate some whites from the yolks. So I've got my trusty little separator here. Now you're probably thinking we're not going to get a lot done with just a couple of whites, but I've already done some of this. So let me just put these away. So I'm going to add these. And here I've got about another 15 eggs worth of egg whites that I've collected over the last little while. I'm keeping them sealed. So we're just going to dump these in. So what I've got here is a little over half a liter. All that together. We're going to put that in our mixer. And then we're going to beat these until they are standing. Okay, we're going to start it on low and then turn it high once it's not going to splash around. Now, by the way, these are cold out of the fridge. Okay, so we're just going to turn it up slowly. And just keep going a little bit more, a little bit more. Now if you look, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's just got a little bit of foaming right around the edge. And that's right where we want it. So we're just going to let this go until we get our peaks. Oh, bring it back in a minute. Well, we're getting there. Lapse time has been a little over 3 minutes. So, bring it back in a bit. So as you can see, they're looking pretty smooth. Not really stiffening up yet, but they're at a point now where we want to turn it up a little bit higher. So there we are at full blast. So I'll bring it back in a minute. Wow, this could be a problem. Okay, I think we're going to have to pull some of this out. I wasn't expecting it to get quite that much. But this mixer is not the large model, so that's probably why the large ones, they can do like a whole liter of egg whites. Oh, sorry, I just suddenly realized that opening that door kind of blocked your view. Sorry about that. So we're going to have to take some of this out. We're almost there, but not quite. And it's just, I think it's just going to overflow. So I'm going to take a little bit out. Oh, so close. It's almost stiff enough, but not quite. It's got to be both stiff and kind of dry for this to work. Okay, that's happening, take a big pan. A little trick you can do is you crumple this up and then it'll form a lot easier to stuff. It just makes it easier to deal with. Okay, I'm just going to scrape down the sides here. Actually, you know, I think this is good. I think we can go with this. And then we'll just have to redo the other one. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and put it on the sheet. Now we'll do the rest here. See how it slides out so easy because it's still got some water in it, a little more than we want. So that's why it has to be done that extra bit to kind of dry it out. And the reasons for that will become apparent in a minute. So I'm just going to start spreading this out on the parchment. Okay, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to start preheating the oven. So I'm going to go as low as it'll go, basically. So about 175. I'm hoping the oven will go that low. I'm just going to put it on bake. Yeah, looks like it's going to work. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, and we'll just get the rest on the tray here. Okay, we'll just do the same here. We're just going to level it all out. We don't really want any peaks sticking up. Now, the reason I'm doing such a low heat is because we want to dry these out and dehydrate them. We don't want to cook them. We don't want them cooked until in powder form they get put into an actual dish that we're cooking. So, now I don't know if you've noticed, but the reason that I learned to do this at all was when I went to order some egg white powder and looked at the price. It was like, holy cow. They charge you an arm and a leg for egg white powder. So that's just not going to work for me. Not as a budgetary minded carnivore who still wants to do some fancy cooking. Okay. think that is going to work. Now, this is going to take a while. I'm going to have to bring it back tomorrow. This is going to take 10 to 12 hours to completely dry out and get crumbly to where we can turn it into a powder. So, you just have to be patient and let it go. All right, we'll pick this up tomorrow. All right, we're back. What I want to show you here is that this oven door is actually open a crack. So once this process started, I started smelling like the egg whites were starting to cook. So I realized that the oven wasn't going to a low enough temperature. So I took a metal spoon and I kind of stuck it in the edge. So I just kind of had it right here. And I used that to just prop the door open a little bit. So we'll go ahead and turn this off. Thick cotton gloves. You can use whatever pot holder or silicone mitts or whatever you've got. So this actually sat for, well, I did this at about 5 p.m. yesterday, and it's about 9:30 a.m. today, so whatever that works out to, that's like 16 hours or something. So probably it didn't need to go this long, but I had other stuff going on, so I just let it carry on. So now you can see it's just kind of this big thick, just a little bit brown on the bottom. That's my fault. Normally it shouldn't do that, but it was just a little too hot. We need to break this up. Like, it's all dried out. It's nice and dry. So I'm actually going to break this into big chunks and put it in the blender. Now, the fact that it cooked a little bit might bother some people. It doesn't bother me a whole lot because this is going to be used in cooking anyway. I don't know if it's going to affect how this works in recipes. It shouldn't, because only the little bit on the bottom actually cooked, and the rest just dried out. So I think we're okay. So I'm just going to grab a wooden spoon. I guess the wooden spoons are dirty. This will do. So I'm just basically breaking this up, pushing it down in there. Now, it depends on the type of blender you have. This particular Ninja blender, the blades come like up really high, and it draws everything up and down as it's pulsing or grinding. So I can fill it up pretty good. If you've got a blender with more traditional type of blades on the bottom, you might have to do it in smaller batches. And if you don't have a blender, I mean, you can just break it up manually and then use like a rolling pin or a jar or something. But it's definitely going to make your life a lot easier if you've got a blender. Okay, I think that's full enough for now. Okay, so we're just going to start with pulsing after I turn it on. So you can see this is turning to powder right away. So I'm just going to open this up, and I'm just going to kind of check the contents, scrape it down a little bit. And then we'll put her on for a little bit and let it blend. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry about the door here, I've got to grab a container for this. Okay, so I've just got a glass container here that we'll put it in. So I've just got this glass container with a sealable lid. So those are the blades on the Ninja. So I'm just going to put some more in. So in case you're wondering some of the things that we can use this for, egg white powder is used in all kinds of carnivore cooking quite a bit, because we can use it as a base for breads and pastas that are completely carnivore and zero carbs. And this is used a lot. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this is, like I mentioned earlier, it is so expensive to buy this. So it saves a ton of money making it myself. Okay, so do the same thing. And we're just going to scrape it down. Make sure everything's breaking up good. Okay, so we'll take the last of it. And I'm just going to scrape down the sides, make sure I don't leave anything behind. So there you have it. So this is powdered egg white from about 17 or 18 eggs, somewhere in there. That's a fair bit. So if you did a full liter of egg whites, you would probably almost fill this container. So this should last me for a little bit, and I've got some recipes coming up where I'm going to be using this. This does not have to sit in the fridge, so this is just going to go up in a cupboard, as long as it's in a cool, dark place. But you know, kitchen cupboard's usually fine. Well, I hope you found this useful. It should help you out making your powdered egg whites a whole lot cheaper than you can buy it for. If you feel we've earned it, please take a moment to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you on the next one.